Hello, this is Milad Rasaimanes and this is Ex-Muslim TV. Stay with us. Alright then, hello there, Nasran, Mohammed. How you guys doing?
Yeah,
Good to have you, yeah?
Thank you.
Alright then, today there is we decided to talk about three different important or maybe interesting topics. Each one of us have chosen one. It's gonna be like a balance between what's happening in terms of Middle East all around the world, and of course I have one good news about the world of music. So we're gonna discuss it in more details in the time that we have. So the first news, I guess, is about the flood that we had in Iran.
Yeah.
And the reaction of the mullahs and the Islamic governments that they say like it's God's will.
Yeah, exactly.
That there's like a flood in Iran. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. We know that in 2 weeks, in last 2 weeks, we have flood in Iran, in most parts of Iran and big cities, especially in and even in villages and some small cities in Iran. And unfortunately, many people are killed and cities are destroyed, and some structures and some part of cities are ruined. And we know that the main reason of these disaster is government's environmental policies, as they destroy forests and over exploitation of environment for getting more profit. So
making money out of it. It's like over like 40 years, if you just go and have a look at the background of the Islamic Republic in Iran, they're using the nature to make more money in all terms. They destroying the jungles, they destroying the roads, everything based on a human sources is overused by the government institutes, army, Sepah, and these sort of things. And now we have such a flood at the very specific time of the year that we know it's Nowruz, and the Iranian people are celebrating the New Year. There's flood in so many cities, small villages. People are losing their loved ones, and the tragic part, or the part that I don't really understand, we gotta discuss more in detail, is we have this institute, a religion institutes, and mullahs and imams. They still saying if people go and follow the Islamic rules, respect the religion, we're not gonna have such a flood, which is a shame. These people are in charge. They're overusing the natural resources. They are actually the reason they have such a flood in Iran, and now they're blaming on the people because they're not obeying the Islamic rules, and it's basically it's a reaction of God. Allah is not happy with these people, so we have flood in Iran.
Yeah, and they cover their incapability by religious issues, and they try to connect these disaster, natural disaster and disaster that they are mostly responsible for that, to religious belief of people. And
hijab, for example, you don't have the hijab. You don't have the hijab, by the way. You don't have the hijab, so there's gonna be flood and so many disasters.
Earthquake right now.
Yeah, we had we had the problem the resources of water in Iran is shortage. I mean, they're we don't have that much rain as we used to be, and we remember that Imam saying if the girls in Isfahan, for example, they have a proper hijab, then we're gonna have more rains and snow. So we're not gonna have any problem with the water resources, which is somehow funny and somehow tragic to
you remember the boobquake movement a few years ago? Somebody one of these guys told that I don't know, because of not wearing hijab, the earthquake happened.
So you still don't have the hijab, so the earthquake may happen at the moment in the studio. Alright, the next one is the things happening in Brunei, right?
Yeah, exactly. The king of Brunei, he is found out recently that he should he should rule his country by Islamic rules, by Sharia. So yeah, all of a sudden, but it's not all of a sudden. I mean, he has been a Muslim. It's the country has a Muslim population.
Now he remembered that he was a Muslim, that he has to go and like follow some of the rules. Yeah.
Yeah, and he is one of the richest men in the world, and he has properties, businesses all around the world. And this guy decided that Islam is not taken care of enough in his country. So, they shouldn't tolerate things like homosexuality, and they should stone people to death for such cases. For adultery, I heard that he is going to cut people's like hands and feet for robbing, you know, and it's disgusting.
It is, yeah. You see, I mean, we discussed like two examples for the flood in Iran and what's happening in Brunei. You see the role of religion, Islam in particular, and the government. So we have like a very fraught sort of like a governmental system in so many countries. They use religion to justify themselves. In Brunei, for example, that guy all of a sudden remembered, oh, I was born Muslim now, so I have to like, you know, go and like participate and practice the Sharia law in that country, so I can just like be sure that I'm gonna stay in power. What's happening in Middle East, Saudi Arabia, Iran, Erdogan in Turkey, so many examples. We see the exact same thing. We have governments, they use Islamic rules to stay in power. So they're like twin brothers. They're like a very best friends. They cooperate with each other, religion and politics.
I think it doesn't matter what they are wearing, what's their appearance. I mean, Erdogan looks nice wearing a suit, tie. Khamenei in Iran wears those mullah clothes, or Brunei, he's a king and he wears golden
sort of
things, and he
in
has
Saudi they look like one of those. They still somehow wear like those like Asian Arabs in the desert. Yeah, they still wear like that. But they I mean, as you said, it doesn't matter how they dress up. It's the same policy, and it's the same like a methodology of like controlling the society that they follow.
Exactly. And about the flood, I mean, the government, the president of Iran has mentioned that God is going to compensate for all the damages by the flood, and of course nobody listens to them, to such people. I mean, people don't even listen to these guys anymore. They are taking care of their own lives. They are facing a disaster, natural disaster, and they are managing themselves. They are trying to secure themselves.
Precisely. In the country like Iran, they're very disappointed with the government. They're not waiting for the governmental help. There are like so many footages and videos that we see like people, like a normal citizen, are trying to help those people who have been somehow affected by the flood, and the government. They're not doing anything. In some points, they are like so scared that the people may get united and like they're gonna be some sort of revolution after the flood against them. So they stop the people who want to help the others, which is, I mean, in 2019, I cannot find any other example that the government is not doing anything against the disaster, but they're just trying to control those who try to do and help the others.
Sometimes they go there just to show up. And sometimes they do comedy shows for people. We have seen many examples of that.
I think the Iranian people understood more than ever. They're like, if they want to have a better life, if they want to overcome with those sort of like economic, like politic problems, their first step is they have to overcome the religious government. Political Islam is the first block that the people should like fight against. And what we see during this flood is that the government, they're trying to like use the Islamism to justify how failure they had during the past 40 years.
Yeah, and you know, the government, you know, mullahs and everybody, say that sometimes they say that this is God's plan for you, or this is like a test by, this is a divine test, and there is a reason behind all this. And people have stopped believing in this in Iran, and they know that religion is a lie just to control them and abuse them. And I think people in the world should also realize that the danger of Islam is serious. We had the example of Brunei today.
Precisely.
And Islam is dangerous to people's lives, to human rights, and it's a serious issue that we should try and stop this spread of Islamism and fundamentalism. This is not gonna help.
Yeah.
And the king of this Brunei is one of the richest men in the world, and I think there is also oil there, like Iran.
So you see the mullahs and the oil, money and religion, they works together. Let's move on. The last one, actually, the one that I've chosen is like, we had like a very exciting news, like mind-blowing kind of news happened last week. Rammstein new song was released called Deutschland, or like in English, Germany. I really like that song. Industrial metal, the genre is like kind of my favorite, and like Rammstein is very special. It's one of the oldest bands. Since I was like a small kid, I've been listening to them. Like so many great stuffs, and like they have like this new song showing like the history of the working class conflicts in different eras. And you can see based on the video like how like a religious institute in different periods, those time the Hitler was in power, or like the Stone Ages in Germany, you can see like the working class always have a struggling with the like a religious institutes. On the other side, you can see during the video that they somehow like, you know, just criticizing the nationalism, saying like you can see like all the artists and like group members, they fighting, they are like in Auschwitz prison, and they're fighting against like a fascist soldier during the Second World War.
You would say that for sure, based on this band's background and lyrics that you have been following, you can say that this is definitely anti-religion song, right?
Well, there's no definite thing. I mean, they're always trying to. I mean, it's some sort of like a conceptual art. You actually understand what you're saying based on the things that an artist produces, but. I would say it is like, you know, most of the audiences would see the criticism of like religion at this video. That, I mean, there might be some sort of like other interpretation saying like, oh no, it's not like that, or like maybe the audiences of this program may disagree with me about what I said about the like the criticism of religion or like nationalism. But that's what I thought actually at the video. Specifically, like they're showing like a very specific eras in the Stone Age that the like a religious institute trying to control the people, and they're fighting against them. And like we know that like the fascism, the Hitler government had like a very close relationship with the church at the time in Germany. So these sort of things somehow can prove they're trying to criticize religion at the history of working class conflict in Germany. Despite like how you see these sort of things, the album gonna be out in May. They're gonna have a gig all around Europe, including Stockholm, and I'm definitely gonna be there. And soon I done the gig, and soon I listen to a album. I'm gonna be in this program again and talk about them. Let's see how things going on. But I do recommend all of the people who watch this program go and watch it and let us know what you think.
I think I checked the video, and I think it's a fun song. And the video, as always, is controversial. I mean, it's on purpose that Rammstein wants to wants people to debate each other and question.
19 million people
Yeah.
so far. I mean, that was the last time I checked the YouTube. 19 million people watched the video in like 4 or 5 days.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's amazing. I mean, as you said, they open their discourses of different things that they like being showed at the video.
Yeah.
All right then, that was for today. Thank you very much, and let us know what you think. Your feedback is important for us. You can always communicate and share your opinion about the content we've been talking at this video. Thank you, and see you next week.